I'm sorry if you can hear people talking in the background. My family, I think, is playing a board game, so sorry if you hear some yelling in the background of this video. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shelby. I make special effects makeup videos, vlogs, a little bit of everything, travel videos. I mean, it's just a little bit of here and there, but I'm currently doing 31 days of Halloween for the month of October, so you can check out my channel if you want to see more Halloween tutorials and vlogs and all that jazz, and I'll also link my Instagram down below. That was rude. But I'll also link my Instagram down below if you want to check there too, because I'm going to be posting pictures of all the makeup looks I do on my Instagram at ShelbySmith00. So basically what I'm filming today is a starter kit, beginner kit, everything you need if you're interested in starting special effects makeup. I started doing special effects makeup when I was 14. I was a freshman in high school. I had been obsessed with The Walking Dead for several years and I just started messing around. I started around Halloween time my freshman year, so a lot of the stuff I first got was just from Walmart and drugstores, and it was just seasonal Halloween makeup stuff that you can get at the store. And honestly, some of my first looks are still some of my favorite, and just using very basic supplies. Yes?
I'm goddamn trying to film!
What kind?
We're going to Baskin Robbins.
Are they open?
I think so.
Okay. Every time I'm filming, someone ends up walking in on me filming because I live in a household full of people. But anyways, I really don't need the super expensive products, so I'm going to give you guys kind of the basics of what I started out with and how I also did it on a budget, because I was 14 years old. I really didn't have an income at the time, so I wasn't spending lots of money on this type of thing. So one of the first things you need to think about when you're starting special effects makeup is what adhesive you are going to use. Now there's many different options for adhesives, but the one I started out with is just plain old liquid latex. I would get these big bottles of it from Walmart for about $10, and honestly, I don't see a big difference in the expensive liquid latex from Ben Nye or other big makeup brands versus something as cheap as this, and you can get it on Amazon, Walmart, Spirit Halloween, and I like it just as much, and it lasts me a while. It doesn't smell too bad and it dries pretty quickly, but you still have enough time to work with it when you're trying to sculpt something. And I also just think liquid latex is very easy to use, and you can create lots of different looks simply using liquid latex and cotton balls or toilet paper or anything like that. But if you're semi more advanced, getting up there, learning some things, and you want to try something else out, I would also recommend Spirit gum. I just get mine I got this one I think from Spirit Halloween, and it lasts me a while. Spirit gum's really good when you're trying to attach prosthetics and heavier pieces to your face. It just kind of stays on better. But this also requires a remover. Now the other thing that I think is a huge thing to have when you're first starting out is as simply as cotton balls and toilet paper, anything like that. I created so many looks simply using those two things, and I still use them pretty much in every single look that I do in some way. I'll have to attach some photos of my first makeup looks where I solely only used liquid latex and toilet paper, because honestly, looking back, they weren't that bad. The next thing that I think a beginner artist should have in their kit is some type of paint. So whether that is a cream-based paint, alcohol-based paint, or a water-based paint, it's literally just up to you, but these are some of the ones that I've used. So a really good one that I've liked that's pretty cheap is the Wet n Wild paint palettes. I have two of them, so this one is kind of the metallics ones, and these are the Bright and Shine palette, I think, just Bright's palette. But this is what it looks like, and it has a bunch of different colors, and honestly, I really like them. I think they're great, especially because they are so cheap too. I mean, they're Wet n Wild. It's a very cheap brand for some good products. And then these are the metallic ones. They all have like a shine to them. And I like these. I've been using them for a little bit. I wouldn't cover my entire face in them per se, but they're good for detail work, mixing them with other cream paints to get the right shade you need, anything like that. And then the next ones I got these, I think, from Walmart way back in the day when I was doing makeup. Around Halloween time, they usually have some makeup out that is solely Halloween makeup. And I picked these up. I've used them a few times from what I can see. This one, not as much. I think I got it when I was working at a haunted hayride, but it just has all the primary colors and white and black. And this is a water activated palette, but I used to use this palette so much. It is the AMC Walking Dead Trick or Treat Studios palette, and it just kind of has all these really cool flesh colors in it, and I absolutely loved this palette. I thought it was amazing. I used it for a lot of different things, so I highly recommend these, and they're pretty cheap, so you can pick them up and just kind of experiment with them. As a beginner, I think the most important thing is to just experiment with a lot of different things and figure out what you like best. Another cream-based palette that I have tried out is the Mehron Mask Cover Cream Blend Palette, and I've reached pan on a couple of these colors, but this is just what it looks like. Mine's a lot messier than it used to be when I first got it, but I liked this one too. It kind of has a weird smell to it in my opinion, but it's good when I'm working in a fast-paced environment. So when I was working at a haunted hayride, these came in handy when I was just very quickly painting cuts and bruises and whatever I had to do. This came in handy, and I think that's when I reached pan on most of the colors. So we've covered water activated paints and cream based paints, and the last ones are alcohol activated paints. So this palette is by Skin Illustrator, and it's just the starter palette. I think it's like one of the smallest palettes they have. Most of theirs are a lot bigger, but I didn't know if I was gonna like it, so I just got the very small version, and honestly I really like it when I am painting prosthetics pieces and stuff. I think it just really makes it look like real skin, real injuries, and I really like it. So basically, an alcohol activated paint, you need your 99% alcohol. You put your brush in there, and then you can put the alcohol to these little tiny pellets. They're very hard until you wet them with the 99% alcohol, and then you get the pigment. And they're very pigmented, so I like that, and you can water them down pretty easily with more alcohol. So with more coloring products, I think it's always good to have a basic eyeshadow palette in your kit. So this is the eyeshadow palette I have that I use when most of the time when I'm doing special effects looks. It just has a range of very bright colors, and along with some white and blacks on the bottom. So I use this one a good bit, but I also recommend just having a very neutral palette with a lot of neutral colors and not as many bright ones. But I highly recommend you having several different eyeshadow palettes with a variety of colors, because you never know what you're going to need. And this honestly was not that expensive. It is the Take Me to Brazil BH Cosmetics palette, and I don't remember it being too expensive, and I love it a lot. So I have two more cream-based products that I recommend to every beginner's special effects makeup artist. The first one being a bruise wheel. So I have two of them here. This one is the Mehron Bruise 505B color wheel, and it just has a bunch of bruise shades. And I think one of the most important things to learn when you're first starting out doing makeup is how to make a realistic bruise. It can just tie together a whole look, and it's just a very simple yet diverse skill to have. The next one I have is just the Ben Nye FX color wheel for bruise and abrasions, and it's just the same thing, just two different brands. I've had the Mehron one for a lot longer, but I definitely really like this Ben Nye one. A really cool thing to get if you are a beginner is, I'm pretty sure Mehron offers a kit you can get for about $100, and it just has little tiny sample sizes of a lot of their products. I'm not sure if they still sell it, but if they do, I will link it down below, because when I first started doing special effects makeup, my dad got me that box by Mehron for Christmas one year, and I absolutely love it. I still have some of the products from that box, and it was just really cool to be able to experiment with a bunch of different things that I never tried before. It came with little tiny effects like for your teeth, to stain your teeth. It came with sealers, it came with powders, little tiny palettes like this, just a little bit of everything, and it was really cool to try out when I hadn't really tried anything like that yet, and I was solely just using eyeshadows and liquid latex and cotton balls to create most of my looks. So I just have a couple more essentials. One of my biggest essentials is Vaseline. You can never go wrong with Vaseline, whether it's covering your eyebrows so you don't rip out your hair, or if you want to give a burn look some more moisture to the look. Vaseline is the way to go, and you gotta have it in your kit. I wouldn't consider that you have to have this product in your kit as a beginner, but as you start getting more advanced, I think it'd be really great for you to purchase Ben Nye Nose and Scar Wax. Now, I'm usually not big on name brands that you have to buy Ben Nye this or you have to buy Mehron that. With Scar Wax, I've just found that the only one I really like is Ben Nye. The ones you get at Walmart and other places like that, they just aren't the same. Take it from me, I've tried them. I have a couple of them downstairs that I've never touched before. So if you're gonna spend the money and get some Scar Wax, I would get the Ben Nye one. The last thing that I would recommend to any beginner special effects makeup artist, and one of the most important, I must add, is freaking fake blood. Now, when I first started, my mom got me big bottles of fake blood like this, and she would get them on sale after Halloween at drugstores and Walmart, and this is what I used, and it wasn't very realistic looking back, and it would stain my skin, but it got the job done. Now, when I first started doing makeup, I did not know what scab blood was. I had never heard of it. I wasn't about to spend a lot of money for fake blood. I didn't really see a difference in it. So I used to take this cheap blood and mix it with flour to give it a more chunky consistency. Honestly, when you're first starting out, it is all about experimenting. Like, there's no right way to go about learning makeup. When I first started, I made my own Scar Wax out of flour and I don't even remember Vaseline. I would just try anything to make things work. It's just all about experimenting. You can use things from around your house. It doesn't have to be all of these expensive products. I'm in no way saying you need to go out and buy these expensive products, because you can get eyeshadow palettes at the dollar store. You can get some of these things for pretty cheap online, and it's all about experimenting. But some fake blood brands that I enjoy are the Mehron Stage Blood and the Mehron Scab Blood. I enjoy both of those. Scab blood, I adore. I don't know how I lived without it.
Okay, Dad is awesome.
Thanks, Dad.
You're welcome. Hey, Aiden.
My dad brought me ice cream. That's kind of my opinion of what you need in your beginner's special effects kit. Another thing I would like to add that I don't have over here at the moment is gelatin. You can get big boxes of individually packaged little bags of gelatin that you would use when you're cooking. You can get it at Walmart, at your grocery store, and I highly recommend experimenting with gelatin. It's one of my favorite things to use, and it's so simple. It's basically just using something that you can get from your kitchen and creating some really cool looks with it. I know I'm about to make a video soon on how I make my special effects gelatin, so I'll link that down below, and comment if you're interested in seeing that, just in case I haven't made it yet by the time I post this video. But I just highly recommend gelatin. Can't say it enough. I love gelatin. I use it for a lot of looks, and I just think it is really freaking cool. But overall, this is my opinion of what you should have in your beginner's special effects kit. And no way am I trying to tell you what you should or shouldn't have. My thing is that it's okay to experiment. You don't need all the expensive products. Go out and get the cheap fake blood, make your own scar wax, make your own scab blood. Like, I think I improved so quickly with special effects makeup solely because I allowed myself the time to experiment and I allowed myself the time to mess up and redo things. And that's just how you get better at anything. So I'd love to see what type of kits you guys have, what you guys think are staples to have in your kits, and comment them down below. I want to know. But if you guys liked this video, don't forget to like, and if you want to see more videos throughout the entire month of October for 31 Days of Halloween, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and you can check out more videos. But until next time, peace out my dudes.